Can Knicks fans ever have nice things? I mean, can we really ever have nice things?
I would say, can we have easy things is the better thing to say. We got the W. It just wasn't easy. It was one of those sweat-inducing, stressful finishes that we've had a bunch this season, a bunch through the years. But hey, that's what makes being a Knicks fan fun.
The sweating is kind of what I felt after missing last week's episode. But welcome back to the Fireside Knicks podcast. Bryce Gelman alongside Brett Hamfling. As always, my mic is broken. If you can't tell, I spent like 20 minutes trying to fix that thing. Whatever.
Dude, you sound
Show
good.
Goes on.
You sound great.
All right. So Knicks beat the Spurs 117 to 114. A lot to take away from this game, but as we usually do, Brett, I'm going to start with you. Thoughts?
Listen, the Spurs have a shitty roster, and we lost to them just recently. We could have lost to them again if it wasn't for our new point guard, Jalen Brunson. Career high, 38 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. I think he was something like 16 of 28 from the field, 17 of 27 from the field. Let me turn that off. He put the team on his back. I mean, a bunch of big shots in the fourth quarter. He's the mid-range, or we're calling it the mid-range, the master, or he's the short to mid-range master. He gets in the paint. He does that little fadeaway.
Maestro.
Sure, I'll go with
maestro.
that. Randall didn't have his best game. Quickly was solid, but it wasn't for Jalen Brunson, would have lost to maybe the worst team in the league twice within a couple weeks stretch.
I think that's an easy thing to say, but you also have to look at what the rest of the Knicks did as well. I mean, Julius Randle had a disgusting game. He went 9 for 26, just over 33%. He went 6 for 11 from the foul line. This is what we're talking about. Most games, that's not going to happen, where Julius Randle is putting up a stat line like that. So I do have to agree with you in the fact that, yes, the Knicks would have lost to anyone if Jalen Brunson didn't do what he did tonight. But Brunson wasn't solid, let's say, the entire game. He went 1 for 3 from the foul line. I know it's not much. It's not a huge sample size, but like that can't happen. That kind of stuff can't happen from the two best players on the Knicks shooting a combined 7 for 14, 50% from the two best players on the Knicks right now. And the other thing I wanted to point out, Brent, is the lack of offense, I'm not going to say lack of offense. I'm going to say the lack of offensive creation from anyone else besides Brunson and Julius Randle. There's nothing. I mean, there was one play at the end of that game where it was broken play. Miles McBride gave Quentin Grimes the ball, and Grimes made a nice move, then finished with his right on the left-hand side. Like, that's okay. Like, I need more of that. I need more of that. Quickly gives you that, of course. I mean, but, shooting 1 for 5 from 3. And then Hartenstein, obviously, with his floater game, like, there needs to just be more from the bench unit, especially on this team.
Yeah, I mean, we have an end-of-the-game problem that we've had this year, the last few years. End of the games are where stars...
We've always had it.
End of the games are where stars shine. The NBA is a weird game. It's like 44 minutes of one game, and then the last 4 minutes, it becomes this other game. And teams who have Jason Tatum and Giannis and Steph Curry, not even Steph Curry, it's really more the wings that go one-on-one. It's the Jason Tatum types that get you a bucket. And we don't necessarily have that. Now, Brunson has been that. We talked about this. I forget if I talked about this you or someone else. He's been clutch in the sense that he's been really good in fourth quarters. He's missed some big free throws with under a minute or under 2 minutes. I forget what they were. But there was a stretch in the fourth quarter that he was the guy getting big buckets. I think he scored, I don't know how many straight buckets for us, but we're going to have this issue because he's a 6'1" guard, especially when they put some bigger guys on him. It's going to be tough for him to get shots down the stretch. But come on, you're talking about 1 for 3 from free throws. He was 17 of 27 from the field.
Hey, listen, he performed. I'm just picking at what's the phrase? Picking
nits?
I don't even know.
Whatever. And I'm picking the nit right back at you.
Picking at straws? I don't know. Okay, yeah, it's fair. Straws? It's fair. I mean, that's just what I got to do. That's what we do here. I mean, Brunson did have 4 turnovers. It's not good.
He was 17 of 27.
I'm only kidding here. Brunson, by far the best player in this game. Brunson with a plus 14 in the plus minus. like you said, Jalen Brunson does not play this game, the Knicks lose to any team in the league. And it just shows you the impact that he has, even when, listen, there are games when he doesn't play well, but usually that means other guys are stepping up as well. Julius Randle has even, slightly a better game. He shoots better than 1 for 8 from 3. The Knicks don't have trouble. And you got to give credit where credit is due to this Spurs unit. They move the ball extremely well. I mean, as always, that's a given when Greg Popovich, the best coach of this generation, in my opinion, the best coach of all time, can give you. But obviously, the Spurs were hitting big shots. They were contested shots that they were hitting. I mean, this team, yes, on paper, they don't have much talent, but they performed tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they hit a bunch of tough floaters, mid-range. Keldon Johnson's a good young player, 26 points. Josh Richardson had a nice game, 20 points.
You know what's crazy? They said in the broadcast,
yes,
this is Josh Richardson's 8th year.
But
what?
What do you think?
I just didn't think Josh Richardson's been in the league that long. I just was shocked by that.
What I was confused about was Clyde was kind of calling him a journeyman, no player, but he hasn't been a star, but he's scored on teams. Like Clyde was saying, he's kind of like someone that's bounced around the league like 100 times.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, he has.
He has, but it's not because he's not good. It's not because he's not good. He's just like he's a solid scorer. So it's sometimes you bounce around the league because you suck. Like,
well, I think a good comparison to make is obviously Lou Will. Lou Will was giving you 20 and on 60% shooting most nights, hitting corner fadeaway threes on your head. But that's a guy who, bounced around the league because when your main asset is scoring, then most teams that don't score are going to try to get you.
Clyde is good for a couple jabs a night. Like he had one after Sochan had that 5-second violation. Into the timeout, coming out, he said, Sochan's still trying to pass that ball. He's good for a couple a night on the other team.
I mean, he's a wordsmith. The guy knows the entire dictionary. I mean, it's true that he studied the entire dictionary. That guy.
Is that what he did? You're the typical...
Yeah, I remember there's a little tidbit like going back 10 years on MSG where Mike Breen said something about Clyde studying the entire dictionary before he became a color analyst. And it would make sense. And the guy knows every word in the dictionary.
He also must literally not at this point, now he knows them, but put the combinations together, rolling, bowling.
Like he's got to be like thinking about that every night before he goes to sleep. Like there's no way that no one could do that. Like I still can't come up with, I can come up with like 5 posting and toasting, dishing and twishing.
But those are all hits.
No, I'm just saying it's because of that. Like I still can't even do it. But no, Clyde's a legend, and he was right on getting on top of what was Sohan?
So is it Sochan?
I don't know.
Was that a quick 5? I don't know.
It was. It had to have been. First off, because you lucked out. You lucked out in this game. This game was going down the route of being the Knicks. Or Keldon Johnson hits a game-tying 3. Josh Richardson hits a game-tying 3. The Knicks go to overtime. The Knicks lose another heartbreaker at home because for whatever reason, teams don't feel – and this is something I was thinking about watching this game. Like, teams don't feel the pressure at the Garden. Like, yes, it's one of the most, raucous crowds in all of sports. And Knicks fans are the best fans, in my opinion, the most loyal fans. The Kings fans proved that this year. I don't know if you saw that clip from Kevin Huerter's 3 the other night. That was pretty crazy. But again, that's they don't even hold a candle to the Garden when it's rocking. Just look up Larry Johnson's 4-point play. Like that's the type of crowd you're going to get on a nightly basis. But guys come in, they don't feel the pressure of the big lights, and they put up 30 pieces on your head. Almost. This is like a weekly occasion. Like it just happens. That's what happens.
They love to play there, and I would too. The big players, LeBron, Steph Curry, Luka loves to play there.
Even Kobe. Those guys thrived under the big lights. But even I was at the game where Jeremy Grant put up 48 points. This is what happens.
And then
Anthony Simons and Jeremy Grant combined for over 90 points in that game.
And you know who we're forgetting? Siakam.
Yeah,
wait, was that the Garden?
The Siakam game?
That was the Garden.
That was the Garden.
50 burger. we're gonna get teams best. I mean, that's why our home record is. I think
It's
it's worse.
500. It's 10-10.
And our away record.
We just improved. We just I mean, obviously the away record's way better.
So yeah, I mean, the end of like you mentioned, the end of the game, we started to falter. Julius tried to force one. First, he forced a shot, I think, and then he
kind of Jericho Sims wide open under the basket under a minute left. Like so, Jericho Sims was jumping up and down, asking for the ball. Julius Randle took one dribble to his right, turned around to his left, and then took the fadeaway, and that was terrible possession.
That was the fadeaway. The next possession, he bullied his way down low, and he didn't really have a shot. Then he tried to force it to Sims, or was it to someone else, and it went out of bounds. And that's when like the wheels are falling off, and the garden goes quiet, and Twitter starts erupting. Like,
no matter what you want to say, no matter what you want to say, and you got to give credit to Julius for what he's been able to do, especially in December, averaging over 28 points per game. He's going to be an all-star, but you got to get on top of this guy when he performs like this down the stretch. I mean, he had that chase down block in the first half where I was like, I tweeted about it and said, like, obviously, like, this guy is a changed man. Like, he's busting his ass constantly. But then, the byproduct of that is that he plays recklessly and he makes mistakes.
Yeah, but
you don't need them at the worst times always. Like, Julius Randle is not making these mistakes in the first half. He makes them down the stretch when the ball shouldn't be in his hands. And the ball is in his hands way too much, Brett. You can't deny that. He's ISO ball. When Brunson plays, there's no Julius ISO ball, but it's Julius ISO ball down the stretch.
I hear you, but let me give you some stats. So he has been taking care of the ball better. This is from John Macri. His first 19 games, Randall, 3 assists per game, 3 turnovers per game. The last 19 games, 4.7 assists, 2.1 turnovers. So there has been this flip where once he started to shoot better, the whole thing just kind of started to click. He has been taking care of the ball better. There is still this thing at the end of the games where when things go downhill, he starts forcing or makes bad pass and probably gets tired also. He's playing hard. Can I give you another stat? His last 18 games, he's averaging 28 and 11. Since November 29th, he's attempted the most three-pointers in the entire NBA. And he's actually shooting 36% on that. He has been a different player. I don't know what it was. I don't know if he just said, I don't want to go down this path of last season. I don't want to, be at odds with the fans, be at odds with the team. And I want to make the playoffs maybe. But he has turned a corner. I'm not going to say it can't go back to what it was, but there's a different level. You saw it on that chase down block. I've never seen him.
Never.
It wasn't just the effort, also the athleticism. I don't know if I've seen him sprint like that. Like
he got up.
It wasn't just getting up. It was how quickly he got up. That is the LeBron block. That is the bait. You let the guy go because you have it and take him down.
I don't know if you knew he had it. I think that there was a good amount of separation and he closed a lot of ground. Really. I mean, I was like, I was completely like shell shocked by that play. I mean, you don't see Julius Randle do that, Brett. So, all right.
You never have.
You never, not once. So let's talk about what I think needs to happen. The Knicks need to trade Julius. I'm just kidding. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding, but I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this right now.
Listen, I know you're not fully kidding, but I'm not prepared to do this right now. And I thought you were about to dig into that. I was like, oh my God, here we go. No. We can have a time. You just gotta let me know. I gotta bring my ammo.
And you're gonna lose. Because you're gonna bring up all these stats about how he's been playing well recently, and then I'm gonna bring up stats about how these stretches do not last and how trade value. You know what happens with trade value? It goes up when you play well. So that's all I got to say about that. We should do an entire episode on whether or not the Knicks should trade Julius Randle. I'm
not fully against it, but when you said my blood pressure went up, I was like, all right, let's dig in.
I know what I'm doing.
Let me go get a water and some snacks.
I'm fishing right now. All right. So is there anything else that we still have to cover from this game that you'd like to talk about?
I'm just shocked. I couldn't believe Emmanuel quickly played 46 minutes. I tweeted this out, but I've been looking to get quickly more minutes for the last 3 years. I didn't
just not 40.
I didn't expect to play 46 minutes. Like Prime Wilt used to play 48 minutes a game. I I don't know. I'm okay with it. I mean, not quite, shouldn't be playing quite 46, but he's playing good defense. Generally, the last couple of weeks, he's been knocking down shots, which we talked about a couple of weeks ago. Remember that free throw conversation? I said, if you're a knockdown free throw, it really does extend. I was thinking about it recently. It really does. There's not many. It could go the other way. Do you have examples? Great free throw shooters who don't knock down threes.
Great. I mean, I know the opposite. I mean,
yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Luka's a prime example of that.
It could go the opposite. But if you have the free throw stroke, it very easily extends to the three. LeBron's not that great a free throw shooter.
I guess. You're saying
I think
that
you said LeBron last time.
No, are you saying? Okay, wait.
I'm saying if you shoot close to 90% from free throws, which he has, I don't know.
Oh, you're talking about good free throw. Okay, yeah, I guess.
Free throw shooters.
I guess.
I mean, yeah. Do your homework with this when you do your homework with Randall.
And you do, yeah, and you could do your, because I'm already locked and loaded for that one. The one other thing I wanted to bring up is Obi Toppin was cleared to play in this game. And here we go again. Just like what happened with Quentin Grimes earlier this year, where Grimes was cleared. I think it was about 5 or 6 games in, barely played for the next 6-7 games after that. How long? I mean, like, Jericho Sims is playing solid minutes. Jericho Sims played 22 minutes. There's a reason why he's getting minutes, is because of his sheer athleticism and because the guy isn't making mistakes and he's rebounding the ball. He's doing an animal. You're asking to do. He's an animal. Yeah,
he's an animal. Like I tweeted this multiple times. He's not like a fluke. Like, he can play in his league because he could grab rebounds, he could block shots, he could defend, and he could dunk the ball. Like, it's a new type of center.
He's probably the most freakish athlete that I've ever seen. I think that's completely understated. Like, you could bring up Blake Griffin, Dwight Howard. Did those guys have a 42, 43-inch vertical? Are their heads almost fully above the rim almost half the time they dunk? That's what Jericho Sims can give you.
It looks more vicious coming from Sims because of his height. I don't know if it looks more.
Okay.
It's a combination. No, he's a freak. I know he's a freak. There's some rebounds where he literally, there's no chance anyone else is getting it.
And if he gets his timing down, even better. I mean, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with, especially on the defensive glass. But Obi's got to get some minutes. I need to see Obi back. What were you about to say?
I was just going to say I like, now I know the Tibbs thing, so I wasn't even like waiting for Obi to come in. It was like, when he says someone's like situational, it means he's out. Like, if he says someone's like they're ready, it's like they're a day and whatever.
But he also, like, he cleared him. Then he said when he's ready to go, he's going to play with the second unit. That doesn't mean he's ready at all.
Yeah, I mean,
why play with the fans?
Yeah, no, Tibbs' language, because even though he's been here a couple of years, it actually changed this year. He has like new language, and now I'm starting to catch on. But I don't really have anything else. 3-game win streak is obviously big. We play the Raptors on Friday, and then the Bucks on Monday.
It's a brutal stretch.
But then it's a couple of easy ones. Not easy. Pacers, Wizards, Pistons. But listen, this yo-yo season is fun. If they can string a couple more together, I think they're now tied for the 6th seed. We're in this.
Let's just give it. We didn't even bring this up, I don't think. Shout out to Jalen Brunson on career high points, 38 points, which honestly was shocking to me that it was only 36, or it was only 34. It was only 34, I think.
He may have had a higher. Yeah, he had 40. No. Yeah, he had 41 in the playoffs.
Yes.
They should count that. Regular season. They really should count that. It's even harder in the playoffs. Why not?
Because most of these, I mean, they don't talk about how many total points that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar has scored compared to LeBron.
I disagree with that too. I think, why would you not? Like, it's like LeBron is the all-time leading scorer.
Because I mean, it's slightly indicative of team success. Because listen, I understand, if you're a good player, then your team's probably going to make the playoffs. But let's say, you're Luka, and Luka puts up 40-point triple-doubles, and your team is still 500, and you don't make the playoffs. It's a team stat. It is. And LeBron is LeBron. There's a reason why that's an anomaly. That's an anomaly. LeBron is by himself. He's in a league of his own. There's a reason why he's been to the playoffs the last 13, or what is it, like 17 of the last 19 years. He's a
I
freak.
think they should count, but I get what you're saying.
All right. Brett, it was a great talk. Hope you enjoyed your New Year. Hope everyone else enjoyed their New Year's. Brett and I will be back as we always are. We're going to be on a weekly basis now. No more breaks. We're going to be weekly going forward, and we'll hopefully have more content for you on the Fireside Knicks Twitter page. But for Brett, I'm Bryce on this episode of Fireside Knicks. We will see you guys next week.